When that heated footage of LeBron and Anthony Edwards hit the internet, no one expected it to go any further, but then Anthony took it up a notch after the game.
We beat the best player in the world. I'm like the best player ever, so.
Apparently those words struck a nerve because, word is, things got even more heated in the locker room. The whole situation is wild, and now there's leaked footage making it even crazier. Let me put you up on game. The viral encounter. What really happened? Just days ago, audio allegedly featuring Minnesota Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards and basketball legend LeBron James went viral after the Timberwolves eliminated the Lakers in a shocking 4-1 first-round playoff upset. Specifically, this occurred after the decisive Game 5 on May 1st, 2025, where Minnesota sealed their advancement with a 103-96 victory. The source of this viral moment began with an X post from an account called Legend Z, which captured Edwards saying something that immediately caught fire online. So, what exactly did Anthony Edwards say in this now infamous audio? According to reports, Edwards was heard making some particularly pointed comments while standing next to LeBron James. This was Edwards trash talking LeBron while celebrating his teammate Rudy Gobert's outstanding Game 5 performance, where Gobert dominated with 27 points and grabbed an impressive 24 rebounds, statistics that proved crucial in Minnesota's series-clinching victory. But that wasn't all. Additional reports indicate that post-game, Edwards further stoked the flames with comments like,
Lakers in 5. Ant-Man, Superman, Lakers in 5.
This was a clear and rather provocative reference to pre-series predictions from analysts who had boldly claimed Lakers in 5 before the series began. Edwards' comment was essentially flipping the script, highlighting how the Timberwolves had defied expectations by eliminating the Lakers in 5 games instead. The context surrounding this heated moment is particularly important for understanding why it resonated so strongly with NBA fans. This wasn't just any playoff series. This was a significant upset where the 6th-seeded Timberwolves took down the 3rd-seeded Lakers, a team featuring both LeBron James and Luka Doncic. The elimination game represented a powerful statement from a rising Minnesota team against established NBA royalty. What makes this interaction even more compelling is the specific focus on Rudy Gobert's performance. Throughout the series, Gobert had been averaging just 3.5 points in the first 4 games before exploding for 27 points and 24 rebounds in the decisive Game 5. Edwards' comments appear to be directly challenging narratives around Gobert's offensive capabilities, essentially telling LeBron and others to acknowledge his teammates' dominant performance. It's worth noting that this kind of competitive trash-talking has deep roots in NBA culture. Edwards, now 23 years old and establishing himself as one of the league's rising stars, was essentially asserting his place in the NBA hierarchy against LeBron James, a 4-time MVP in the later stages of his illustrious career. This generational confrontation added another layer of intrigue to the already compelling narrative. The timing of this viral moment is particularly significant as it came at the conclusion of the first-round series on April 30th, 2025, where the Timberwolves secured a 103-96 victory to win the series 4-1. The raw emotion captured in Edwards' comments reflects the culmination of a hard-fought series and the emotional release that comes with an underdog triumph. For additional context, we should understand the dynamics at play between these teams. The Lakers, with their storied history and championship pedigree, entered the series as favorites, despite finishing as the 3rd seed. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves, despite their 6th seed position, had been building momentum throughout the season, with Edwards emerging as their undisputed leader. Anthony Edwards has established himself as one of the NBA's most outspoken and charismatic young stars. His candid interviews and memorable quotes have frequently gone viral, contributing to his reputation as one of the league's most quotable players. This latest incident fits a pattern of Edwards' unfiltered personality that has endeared him to many fans while occasionally generating controversy. In this specific series, Edwards averaged an impressive 26.8 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 6.2 assists, including a standout 43-point performance in Game 4. These statistics underscore why Edwards felt empowered to speak so confidently in the wake of the series victory. His play had backed up his talk throughout the 5 games. What's particularly noteworthy about this viral moment is how it has reinforced Edwards' reputation as a fearless competitor who doesn't bow to established NBA hierarchies. In challenging LeBron James, arguably the most prominent figure in basketball over the past 2 decades, Edwards signaled his arrival as not just a talented player, but as someone unafraid to assert himself in the game's psychological battles. As we examine this encounter, it's important to recognize that the Timberwolves as a franchise have been building toward this moment for years. After reaching the Western Conference Finals in 2024 and now defeating the Lakers in the first round of the 2025 playoffs, they've established themselves as legitimate contenders in the Western Conference, and Edwards' confident demeanor reflects this team-wide belief. The raw, unfiltered nature of the leaked audio gave fans an unusual glimpse into the emotional reality of NBA playoff basketball, the kind of heated exchanges that typically remain private. This authenticity likely contributed to why the clips spread so rapidly across social media platforms and sports news outlets. While some initially characterized this interaction as disrespectful, many NBA veterans and analysts have defended it as part of the game's competitive culture. The trash-talking tradition in basketball has long been considered an art form, with legendary figures from Michael Jordan to Kevin Garnett renowned for their psychological warfare on the court. For Edwards, this moment represents another chapter in his emerging narrative as one of the NBA's next generation of superstars. At just 23 years old, he's already established himself as a fearless competitor willing to challenge anyone, even someone with LeBron's stature and accomplishments. Anthony Edwards trash-talking King James is one thing, but the Wolves pulling a shock upset was even more impressive. The series breakdown, how the Wolves shocked the Lakers. The Minnesota Timberwolves' elimination of the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round of the 2025 NBA playoffs wasn't just another series win, it was a statement that reverberated throughout the basketball world and set the stage for Edwards' confident proclamations. The matchup initially favored the Lakers on paper. As the third seed in the Western Conference, Los Angeles entered with home court advantage and two of the game's biggest stars in LeBron James and Luka Doncic. The Timberwolves, meanwhile, came in as the sixth seed, perceived by many analysts as talented but lacking the star power to overcome the Lakers' dynamic duo. The series began on April 19, 2025, with the first game taking place at the Lakers' home court. Contrary to expectations, the Timberwolves immediately seized control with a dominant 117-95 victory, outscoring the Lakers by 22 points and setting an unexpected tone for the series. This outcome immediately challenged the prevailing narrative and gave Minnesota early momentum. Game 2 on April 22nd saw the Lakers respond with their only victory of the series, a 94-85 win that temporarily restored balance. LeBron James and Luka Doncic demonstrated their elite capabilities, with Doncic leading the scoring with 31 points while also grabbing 12 rebounds. This performance seemed to confirm the pre-series expectations that the Lakers' star power would ultimately prevail. However, the momentum shifted dramatically once the series moved to Minnesota. In Game 3 on April 25th, the Timberwolves regained control with a convincing 116-104 victory, outscoring the Lakers by 12 points despite a heroic 38-point, 10-rebound performance from LeBron James. The Timberwolves' balanced attack proved more effective than the Lakers' reliance on individual brilliance. The pivotal Game 4 on April 27th produced one of the series' most memorable performances as Anthony Edwards erupted for 43 points in a narrow 116-113 victory. This gave Minnesota a commanding 3-1 lead and set the stage for the decisive Game 5 back in Los Angeles. Edwards' dominant showing in this crucial contest reinforced his status as a rising superstar capable of taking over games on the biggest stage. Finally, Game 5 on April 30th saw the Timberwolves close out the series with a 103-96 win, highlighted by Rudy Gobert's breakthrough 27-point, 24-rebound performance that became the focal point of Edwards' viral comments. The victory completed a surprising 4-1 series win that few had predicted before the playoffs began. What made this series particularly remarkable were several key statistical advantages the Timberwolves managed to establish. According to advanced metrics, Minnesota maintained a significantly higher offensive rating, 117.5 versus 109.9 throughout the series. Their superior offensive rebounding percentage, 30.7% versus 23.8%, gave them crucial second-chance opportunities, while their lower turnover rate, 10.3% versus 14.2%, helped them maintain control in critical moments. Perhaps most tellingly, the Timberwolves dominated the fourth quarters across the series, outscoring the Lakers by a staggering 127-85 margin in the final period. This late-game superiority demonstrated Minnesota's mental toughness and ability to execute under pressure, qualities that were previously associated more with veteran-laden teams like the Lakers. The series also highlighted a crucial strategic advantage for Minnesota, the Lakers' lack of size in their front court. Los Angeles did not have a player taller than 6 feet 8 inches receiving significant minutes, which allowed Rudy Gobert to dominate in Game 5 with his 27-point, 24-rebound performance on efficient 12 of 15 3-for-15 shooting. This mismatch became increasingly problematic for the Lakers as the series progressed. Individual performances told much of the story. For the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards emerged as their undisputed leader, averaging 26.8 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 6.2 assists across the 5 games. His Game 4 explosion for 43 points was pivotal in giving Minnesota their 3-1 advantage. Meanwhile, Rudy Gobert's emergence in Game 5 provided the perfect exclamation point, especially after averaging just 3.5 points in the first 4 games. On the Lakers side, Luka Doncic was their statistical leader, scoring 37 points in Game 1, 31 in Game 2, and 28 in Game 5. LeBron James also had standout performances, including 38 points in Game 3. However, their individual brilliance couldn't overcome Minnesota's more balanced team approach, highlighting a fundamental difference in the two teams' compositions. The Lakers' early exit raised significant questions about their future, especially regarding LeBron James's status. At 40 years old, James faced uncertainty about his continued career trajectory, particularly with a $52.6 million player option for the 2025 to 2026 season looming. This context added weight to Edwards' comments as they came at a potential inflection point in LeBron's legendary career. For the Timberwolves, this series victory represented much more than just an upset win. It marked their first time winning playoff rounds in consecutive seasons, building on their impressive Western Conference Finals run in 2024. The franchise, which had previously experienced extended playoff droughts, was now establishing itself as a consistent postseason threat. Looking at Minnesota's playoff history provides important context for understanding why this victory was so significant. Prior to 2024, the Timberwolves had advanced beyond the first round only once in franchise history, back in 2004 with Kevin Garnett. Their recent success represents a dramatic shift in the franchise's fortunes and explains the emotional celebration from Edwards and his teammates. The series also highlighted a generational shift in the NBA landscape. At 23, Edwards represented the league's emerging young talent, challenging the established order personified by LeBron James. This dynamic added a compelling narrative layer to their on-court confrontation and subsequent viral moment. Pre-series predictions heavily favored the Lakers, with ESPN analyst Shannon Sharp's Lakers in 5 prediction becoming particularly infamous. These expectations made the actual outcome, Timberwolves in 5, especially ironic, and Edwards didn't hesitate to reference this contradiction in his viral comments. The Timberwolves' social media team capitalized on the victory with creative content, including a credit-style montage highlighting doubters and referencing the Lakers in 5 meme. This online trolling amplified the celebratory atmosphere surrounding the team's achievement and added to the viral nature of Edwards' comments. For basketball analysts, this series provided a compelling case study in how team construction and matchups can sometimes overcome perceived star power. The Lakers roster, built around James and Doncic, lacked the complementary pieces necessary to counter Minnesota's more balanced attack. The financial implications of the series were significant for both franchises. For the Lakers, an early playoff exit meant decreased revenue from potential deeper playoff runs, while simultaneously facing questions about their expensive roster construction. The Timberwolves, meanwhile, gained valuable additional playoff games and increased national attention that could boost their market value. Perhaps most importantly, this series cemented Anthony Edwards' status as one of the NBA's most compelling personalities. His willingness to challenge established stars like LeBron, both with his play and his words, created the perfect conditions for a viral moment that would capture the basketball world's attention. As the series concluded, the Timberwolves advanced to face the Golden State Warriors in the second round, carrying the momentum from their impressive victory over the Lakers. This continued journey added context to Edwards' confident assertions, as they weren't merely celebrations of a single series win, but expressions of championship aspirations. And you already know that the basketball world was going to go nuts over the Wolves' surprise upset. The aftermath, reactions, and implications. In the days following the Minnesota Timberwolves' stunning elimination of the Los Angeles Lakers and Anthony Edwards' viral comments, the basketball world erupted with reactions from players, coaches, fans, and media analysts. This final segment examines the diverse responses to this heated moment and explores its broader implications for both individuals and franchises moving forward. For Anthony Edwards, his viral comments represented more than just an emotional outburst. They signaled his continued emergence as one of the NBA's most compelling personalities, both on and off the court. Edwards has established himself as one of the league's most quotable players, unafraid to speak his mind regardless of the situation. This latest incident perfectly aligned with his growing reputation for candid, unfiltered commentary. In his post-game comments, Edwards didn't back down from his assertive stance, directly addressing the pre-series predictions that had favored Los Angeles.
How does it feel now to emerge from this series victorious the way that you guys had, the way you did, and to prove those kind of people wrong?
You know what makes it feel even better is that they said Lakers in 5, and the Wolves won in 5. So I think that makes it feel 10 times better. That's like my only answer.
This response highlighted how the underdog narrative had fueled the Timberwolves throughout the series and made their victory even sweeter. While celebrating the series win, Edwards also showed respect for his opponents, acknowledging that "we beat the best player in the world, the best player ever," likely referring to LeBron James. This mixture of confidence and respect demonstrated Edwards' understanding of the significance of the achievement while still honoring the greatness of his opponent. Edwards' teammate Rudy Gobert, whose performance had been the focal point of the viral comments, maintained a more measured response, saying, "Feels great, but not vindication. It's not about beating a specific person. It's about a championship, and we've got a little bit more work to do before that," keeping the focus on the team's broader championship aspirations rather than any individual confrontation. Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch echoed this sentiment, emphasizing the team's resilience. "We didn't shoot the ball well, but I thought we were the tougher team mentally and physically. That's when it showed itself," highlighting the mental fortitude that had allowed Minnesota to dominate fourth quarters throughout the series. This leadership perspective provided important context for understanding how the team's collective mindset contributed to Edwards' confident proclamations. On the Lakers' side, the reactions were markedly different. LeBron James, facing questions about his future after another early playoff exit, was notably non-committal in his post-game comments. When asked about his plans, James simply responded, "I don't know. I don't have an answer to that," indicating he would discuss the matter with his family. This uncertainty only amplified the significance of Edwards' comments, as they came at a potential inflection point in James's legendary career. Luka Doncic, whose first partial season with the Lakers had ended in disappointment, expressed his mental exhaustion, stating, "Mentally kind of exhausted after everything that happened," reflecting on the challenges of adjusting to a new team mid-season and the subsequent playoff disappointment. This candid admission provided a stark contrast to Edwards' energetic confidence. Lakers coach J.J. Redick voiced his disappointment while acknowledging the Timberwolves' superior play. "There's always a mix of disappointment and gratitude. Certainly disappointed because this result is not something that I ever envisioned with this team," giving credit to Minnesota while expressing surprise at his team's early exit. This reaction encapsulated the Lakers' collective shock at the series outcome. Basketball analyst Zach Lowe discussed Gobert's performance on his podcast, with the Ringer promoting, "Rudy Gobert had the best game of his career last night," as Zach Lowe NBA, on Rudy dominating the Wolves series clincher against the Lakers. This analytical perspective validated Edwards' passionate defense of his teammate and reinforced the strategic importance of Gobert's breakthrough game in securing the series victory. Interestingly, prior to Game 5, prominent analyst Skip Bayless had confidently predicted a Lakers victory, stating, "I believe the Lakers tonight will do to the T-Wolves what the Rockets are doing to the Warriors. Blow them out. Send it back to Minnesota for Game 6, a prediction that proved wildly inaccurate." This incident also needs to be viewed within Anthony Edwards' broader history of viral moments and occasional controversies. While his on-court performances, like his spectacular dunks that frequently circulate on social media, have generally generated positive attention, he has also faced scrutiny for off-court issues. In September 2022, Edwards posted homophobic comments on Instagram that resulted in a $40,000 fine from the NBA. More recently, in December 2023, he addressed allegations from an Instagram model who claimed he had pressured her to get an abortion. In early 2025, he was involved in a paternity dispute with Aisha Howard, the mother of his daughter. These incidents provide important context for understanding Edwards' complex public persona beyond his basketball prowess. LeBron James also has a history of notable reactions following playoff defeats. In 2009, he famously refused to shake hands with Orlando Magic players after losing in the Eastern Conference Finals. After the 2011 NBA Finals loss to Dallas, he made controversial comments, suggesting critics would return to their same life while he continued his. He has also faced criticism for leaving the court early during blowout losses, including instances in 2006, 2020, and 2021. This history frames how this latest incident fits into LeBron's career narrative. The timing of this confrontation is particularly significant when considering where both players are in their respective careers. Edwards, at 23, represents the NBA's next generation of superstars eager to establish their place in the league's hierarchy. James, at 40, stands as the established legend whose longevity has transcended multiple eras of NBA basketball. Their interaction symbolizes a potential passing of the torch moment that adds deeper meaning to Edwards' comments. For the Timberwolves franchise, this viral moment comes comes at a pivotal juncture in their evolution. After decades of playoff disappointments and extended droughts, they have now established themselves as legitimate contenders in the Western Conference. The team's strategic roster construction, with Edwards as the centerpiece surrounded by complementary talents like Rudy Gobert, has positioned them to potentially challenge for championships in the coming years. The Lakers, conversely, face serious questions about their future direction. With LeBron's uncertain status and the substantial investment they made in acquiring Luka Doncic, the franchise must decide whether to continue building around aging stars or consider a more substantial rebuild. This organizational crossroads adds contextual weight to Edwards' confident assertions about the present and future NBA landscape. From a broader NBA perspective, this incident highlights the league's generational shift. As established stars like LeBron James approach the twilight of their careers, a new wave of talent led by players like Edwards, Luka Doncic, and others is redefining the game. These transitions are rarely smooth, and confrontations like the one between Edwards and James serve as symbolic markers of these larger shifts in the league's power dynamics. The viral nature of this exchange also underscores the changing media landscape surrounding the NBA. In earlier eras, such an interaction might have remained private or been reported through traditional media channels. Today, with social media and constant content creation, these moments spread instantly and become part of the collective basketball conversation within minutes. This accelerated news cycle amplifies both the reach and impact of such confrontations. For Edwards personally, this viral moment potentially accelerates his ascension as one of the NBA's most marketable stars. His combination of elite on-court performance and charismatic personality makes him uniquely positioned to capture the attention of both hardcore basketball fans and casual observers. The additional exposure from this incident likely enhances his commercial appeal for endorsements and media opportunities. As the Timberwolves continued their playoff journey against the Golden State Warriors in the second round, this viral moment served as a confidence-building milestone that could fuel their continued success. The psychological boost from not just defeating, but dominating the Lakers could provide valuable momentum as they face increasingly difficult competition. If you enjoyed this deep dive, check out the videos on your screen now for more juicy content.